right, am I live? I think I'm live. Hey, y'all. I'm Chris Thomas, and this is Land Flipping 101, where you can learn how to earn your financial freedom through land investing, even if you're a complete beginner with no experience. Today, I'm going to spend about 15 minutes from my back patio and discuss how to fund your deals. And also, there are a number of questions in the group which I'll answer, but feel free to add questions to the chat and I'll answer as many as I can within about a 15-minute window. All right. Hi, Glenn, Jamal, Terry. Watch out for those biting flies. That's right. When I'm outside, you just never know what you're going to get. I have an outdoor cat who's just rubbing up against my feet right now, which are barefoot, which I love to do in the summer. Just good old southern girl here. Okay, quick announcement. Several people have asked me, and I have decided to start up a small group mentoring program where I will take you by the hand and walk you through your first few deals. I'll teach you exactly how I have successfully flipped rural vacant residential property and averaged $35,000 profit per deal. So I'm going to open up my business and show a few people in a small group mentoring scenario how I've been successful. So if you would be interested in getting my help one-on-one, please send me a private message and I will get you some more information. Hi, Michael and Renee and Rich. Good to have you all here. So I am based in Nashville, Tennessee, where I've been a real estate investor since 1999. I'm an entrepreneur at heart, and my husband and I ran a business together for 17 years until it was sold in 2018. My experience in real estate is varied. I own single-family homes that I rent out. I have... Ow! My cat bit my foot. I have fixed and flipped property. I've purchased foreclosures and managed rentals. And I got into land when I was trying to buy tax foreclosed property at auction in Florida. I kept bidding on the single family homes and I wasn't winning anything. But by the fourth auction, I was beyond frustrated when someone told me to stop bidding on the highly competitive houses. Hint, hint. And they said, try bidding on the land only deals. So I tried it. And the very next auction, I won 3 properties. Each property has now sold, and I earned $10,000 or $12,000 on each one of those. I sold them all in about 90 days. One took a little longer, but not too bad, I thought. But once I realized land was not very competitive, it really opened my mind to the idea that land investing and targeting property owners who were not in tax foreclosure might be a good idea. So now I'm consistently closing between 2 and 4 deals every single month. And my biggest secret is that I'm sending direct mail to property owners who do not have their property listed for sale. So, hi Nico, hi Rich, hi Claudette, hi Dennis. Gosh, I'm glad y'all are here with me. I saw that Tori Seacrest posted a question. Do you have to do a lot of cold calls? Tori, I'm happy to tell you that I do not do any cold calling, none whatsoever. I don't like doing that. And so no one likes to get them either. Dale Brown asked me a question. How long does each deal take to sell from purchase to closing with a new buyer? That is kind of an open-ended question. I'm not really sure exactly the best way to answer that because it depends on the size of the deal. It depends on the average days on market in the area. And then it depends on, are you saying from the time I get it under contract until the time it closes? I guess I would say probably like 90 to 120 days would be probably what I would say to that. But just so you know, if you want to find average days on market, you can go to Zillow or to Realtor.com, and they have a data research site where you can pull the report about days on market. So that is something I look at, is if days on market in an area is more than 60 days, I'm really not too interested in it because it'll take me, another month to get it under contract, and do the due diligence. Sophie Wang asked, if I'm mailing offers to a state, my cat just got on the table. If I am mailing offers to a state that is not where I am living, do I need to find a local title company? And she said, I mean local to that state where the land parcel is located in order to close the transaction. Yes. Yes, Sophie. You want to find your title company in the area where the property that you're buying is located, because that's where the property records are located, and you're wanting a title company to look at the chain of title and make sure that it was passed on from owner to owner cleanly. Sophie also said, I heard some people use self-closing through notary instead of going through a title company for small dollar amount deals. So in these cases, they do not buy title insurance for the buyer, ? Also, is there a dollar amount cut line for how big the deal is to determine whether a title company should be involved? Okay, I've heard the recommendation on that is $5,000 of your sales price is sort of like, if it's below $5,000, you could self-close, but if it's over that, you should use a title company. There is no title insurance on a self-close, but I would tell you, we don't ever self-close. I mean, I will say on those deals that I talked about that were the tax foreclosures, yeah, I did self-close those. But now we don't do small deals like that anymore. We target larger deals, because if we're going to do all this work to get a property marketed, to take the phone calls from prospective buyers, and then to go through the closing process, we would rather get a higher return than $5,000. Let me check the questions. Well, actually, this is a great segue to go ahead and talk about funding, because that seems to be the one thing that really holds people back from getting into the land investing business. So I usually take a property under contract to purchase with the idea that I will not buy it until I have it sold, or I have at least found an end buyer, right? So there are a couple strategies that I'll share with you that I use. One is double closing. I'm sure you've heard about double closing. A true double closing means that you buy and sell the property in the same transaction using the buyer's money to pay the seller. And in a double closing where you're using the end buyer's funds to pay the seller, some states may require you to disclose this to the end buyer, where they will end up seeing what you paid for the property. This is not true in all states, like in Florida, where you don't have to disclose it, but a double closing is by far the most recommended way to fund your deal. However, it may not be an option depending on the state's regulations and then the title company's policies. So when interviewing a new title company or attorney, just be sure to ask them if they'll do a double close, and explain that the buyer's money will be used to purchase the property, so you shouldn't have to bring any money to the table. Another option is a line of credit or a personal loan, and this is most often how I personally do it. I use a line of credit. This can either be from your home's equity, it could be a personal line of credit, or even a credit card. Just be sure you pay it back as soon as you get the check from the title company. So my home has a home equity line of credit, and I borrow the money in the morning to fund the deal to buy the property, and by the end of the day, the end buyer has funded his end, and I can receive the initial payment back plus the profit. And my closing agent is so great, he'll wait to fund my purchase until after the end buyer has funded his or her purchase, just to protect me, since he knows my strategy, and we've done so many of these together. Okay, I see a bunch of questions, so let me stop for a second and take a look and see. Ahmed asked, do I ever close on properties, or do I only do double closings and assignments? I never do assignments, but I do close on properties occasionally if the circumstances are correct. Oh, Michael said, do we sell to the retail market? I do sometimes, but I'm always pricing my properties to sell fast. So I'm pricing below market value, which tends to attract a lot of investors. Do I need a realtor to post my properties under contract on the MLS in Florida? The answer is no, you don't. And you can just type into Google flat fee MLS Florida, And yes, I am back. Ahmad, thanks for joining me again. I got cut off there. Just Google search flat fee MLS in Florida, and Google will bring up a list of flat fee MLS services. So you just pay them a flat fee. It's usually no more than $150. I think it's less, but no more than $150. And they will put your listing up on the MLS for you, and you'll handle all the calls and all the messages, but they will be the broker that will put the listing online for you. That's a huge game changer, because I don't know if you heard before I got cut off before, but that's how I sell majority of my properties, on the MLS. Okay, so I've got a couple other funding sources or ways for you to get into this business without having your own money. And I'm sure many of you have heard about assignment or wholesaling. You'll hear those terms a lot in the real estate investing industry, usually among house flippers. But simply put, a wholesale deal is where an investor gets a seller to sign a purchase agreement, and then they just assign that contract to another buyer through an assignment contract. The difference between an assignment and a double or a simultaneous close is that the assigner or the wholesaler doesn't pay any closing costs. The downside is that both the seller and buyer will see each other's purchase and sales price. So the seller will see he is making much less on the deal between you and the end buyer. That is primarily why I do not wholesale or assign. And then the last way I'll mention today is just finding a funding partner. Because one thing you'll hear me say constantly is, do not let funding stop you. If you have a great deal, you can always find someone willing to fund it. There are other investors that have more money than time and energy to find the deals themselves, and they would enjoy working with you. Typically, the funding partner will take title, and you'll have a joint venture agreement. There are land investors that see the potential in this niche market and have built their entire business model off providing funding to other people. You can find a funding partner willing to purchase the property initially, even if you don't have a buyer lined up yet. And this can be more enticing than a hard money loan, since there's no interest to pay while you're marketing the property. Finding a funding partner is all about relationships. So once you've done a deal or two, that partner will be jumping for joy to take your phone call on the next one. And I include myself as one of those people. You're asking about what the cost per deal is on average. I mean, I'm targeting market value properties of at least $40,000, but it varies. It just depends on who responds to my message. The key here to my success has just been consistent daily action. I send mail out each and every week without fail. And if you take the steps and you send the mail, you will also find success. This is a proven business model, and if you'll send the mail, you will find deals. And you can start as small or as large as you would like. You can invest your own funds, or you can use one of dozens of investment options like a double close without risking your own money. And as I mentioned at the beginning, I will be starting up a small group mastermind to teach you exactly how I have successfully flipped real estate or rural vacant residential property. And then I'm averaging $35,000 profit per deal. So send me a private message if you'd be interested in that. Or if you just want to talk to me one-on-one, look for the Calendly link to schedule a free 15-minute meeting with me, which you can find the link at the top in the announcement tab at the top of this page. And let's get you in the real estate investing business. Or if you're already investing, just let me know, where you're stuck. You can do this, and I will help you.